Hi, Taehyung lovers. Welcome back to the Taehyung Lovers channel all around the world. And this time, don't you dare skip the first 3 seconds, because what you're about to hear is not just ordinary K-pop content. This is a moment that made the world stop and maybe made you question everything. The world hasn't been the same since that night. And if you feel like something is different, that's not just your imagination. April 2026 turned into a global stage when Taehyung and Jeon Jungkook appeared on Let Snowman Do It. And from that very second, everything changed. Not just viral, but emotional, controversial, even dividing the fandom. Many were deeply moved, but not a few began to feel suspicious. What really happened behind this moment? Why did a simple interaction feel so deep, as if it wasn't just acting, but something more real than what should appear on screen? In this video, we will uncover facts that not everyone realizes, from the unexplainable chemistry between Taehyung and Jungkook, the faceline moment that gave netizens chills, their warm interactions with Snowman and Daisuke Sakuma, to the dono piece symbol from Koji Mukai that apparently holds a deeper meaning than just a pose. We will also explore the rarely discussed side about authenticity, emotion, and why this moment actually sparked a major debate among global fans. So before we go deeper, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because what you're watching is not just for entertainment, but to open a new perspective. And don't forget, share this video, so the world doesn't just see Taehyung's popularity, but also the kindness and sincerity that are rarely found in anyone at his level. Because after this, you may never see them the same way again. April 2026 was not just a change a month. It became a global stage, a boundless space where human emotions were tested in their most honest form. In one night, the world seemed to stop breathing. When Taehyung and Jeon Jungkook stepped into the Japanese special show Let Snowman Do It, something unseen by the cameras began to move, slowly but surely. That wave wasn't only felt inside the studio, but spread across millions of screens worldwide, breaking through algorithms, surpassing language barriers, and touching something far deeper than entertainment. The most vulnerable human emotions. Within minutes, their names shook the internet once again, not just as a trending topic, but as the center of an uncontrollable emotional conversation. The show, originally designed as cross-cultural entertainment, suddenly lost its original definition. Together with Snowman and Daisuke Sakuma, Taehyung and Jungkook didn't just appear as guests. They reshaped the reality unfolding before the audience. Moment after moment was created without a clear script, without any sense of fabrication, as if everything flowed from a deeply human place. When they stood side by side in a face-line pose, the world didn't just see two global visuals. The world felt an energy that logic couldn't explain. There was warmth, there was calmness, there was something that made people fall silent without realizing it. And precisely at that point, an unavoidable uneasiness emerged. Why could something so simple feel so deep? Taehyung once again proved that he is not just a figure on stage. He is an experience. The way he looks at people around him, the way he smiles effortlessly, even the subtle way he plays with the energy around him, all of it creates a connection that cannot be faked. In 1 second, he can make a dancer lose focus. In the next, he can make millions feel seen. This is not just charisma. This is a rare form of emotional communication. But because of that, some people began to feel uncomfortable, because the closeness he creates feels too real, too personal, as if the boundary between idol and ordinary human truly disappears. On the other side, Jeon Jungkook appeared with a different energy, calmer, deeper, yet equally powerful. His gaze when talking about music didn't just show interest, but sincerity that felt almost fragile. When he said, "I really like your music. Someday I want to try making music together," the world seemed to pause. No dramatic effects, no overwhelming background music. Just one sincere sentence that struck the most sensitive part of the human heart. And when Taehyung responded with a soft smile, "Please don't cry," that moment became something more than just an interaction. It was a reflection of a bond, a journey, something that had long been built even before the cameras started recording. Behind the scenes, another reality unfolded. No distance, no boundaries. They ate together, laughed together, shared the same space without the hierarchy that usually defines the entertainment world. When Taehyung and Jungkook invited everyone to sit together, it wasn't just a polite gesture. It was a silent statement that they never truly left their human side behind. And perhaps that is their greatest strength. Not in what they show, but in what they preserve within themselves. The dono piece moment created by Koji Mukai became a small symbol with a big meaning. When Taehyung, out of curiosity, asked about it and then reached out to its creator, it wasn't just about a pose. It was about recognition, respect, and how someone at the top of the world can still sincerely see and appreciate others. And at that point, many realized that what they were witnessing wasn't just a cross-cultural collaboration, but a meeting of values that are becoming increasingly rare in the modern world. But what lingered the most wasn't what was clearly visible. It was what was felt in the subtle gaps of their interactions. The way Jungkook unconsciously followed Taehyung's movements, the way they complimented each other without words, the way their laughter came naturally. Everything felt so honest that it was almost hard to believe. And that's where emotional conflict began to arise among viewers. Because in a world full of constructed images, authenticity often feels impossible. The question kept echoing. Why does their connection feel so sincere? And the answer that emerged felt too simple for many to accept. Because it simply is. April 2026 became more than just time. It became proof that in a harsh, critical, often cynical world, there is still space for genuine sincerity. That two individuals who have reached the highest peak can still show up with the same hearts as when they first started. Humble, full of feeling, and deeply connected to those who love them unconditionally. But behind all that warmth, there is another side that cannot be ignored. This phenomenon didn't just spark admiration, but also jealousy, debate, even sharp skepticism. Because when something feels too perfect, the world will not stay silent. It will look for cracks, for flaws, for reasons to doubt. And maybe that's exactly where the true power of that night lies. When the show ended, there was no closing that could truly summarize what happened. Because this wasn't just a performance. This was a collective experience that will continue to live in the memories of millions. Not because of its grandeur, but because of its honesty. Not because of its global scale, but because of its personal touch. April 2026, the month when the world was reminded that music is not just about what is heard, but about what is felt and cannot be explained. And now, after everything has passed, one question remains, hanging in millions of minds that have yet to find an answer. Was what we saw a rare sincerity or something too beautiful to believe? The answer may be different for everyone, but one thing is certain. That night, the world will never be the same again. And at this point, we are no longer just watching a moment. We are witnessing something that may never happen twice. April 2026 is not just time passing by. It left a mark that made the world question, feel, and even doubt what had just happened when Taehyung and Jeon Jungkook shook the stage of Let Snowman Do It. And maybe, until now, not everyone is ready to accept the answer. Thank you for watching until the end. If you feel this moment was real and touching, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. But if you disagree, feel free to skip, because Taehyung Lovers channel never forces, only delivers what the world feels. Now we want to hear from you. Is this truly rare sincerity or something too perfect to believe? Write your thoughts in the comments, because this is where the real debate begins. What happened that night is not over. This is just the beginning. More facts are starting to surface, and not all of them will be comfortable to hear. Stay tuned for the next updates only on Taehyung Lovers. Keep following everything about Kim Taehyung only on this channel. Thank you, and see you next time. Good night, stay safe, and remember, the world may have already changed since that night,